Hey guys, I'm the Gamer Cat, and welcome back to an ongoing series where we try to find the strongest item in Terraria in terms of DPS. There will probably be other series for mining speed or I don't know, other stuff for each part of Terraria that I find enjoyable. I remember there being 5 different sections of Terraria, like exploration, there's combat, exploration, building. There's a bunch of different categories, and I don't remember all of them. But I'm probably going to do one of these series for each of those, and we'll see which item is the best for building, which item is the best for exploration. Obviously, we're doing combat right now. There's going to be an accessory series probably as well. And once we have the best of each category, we'll find the best item in Terraria. So today we're going to be testing a former... let's see, he's in 2nd place. He's the silver medalist for the leaderboards, the palladium sword. Now we got the challenger, the legend, the frostbrand, the blade of evil's... No, I'm not sure if it would do anything to evil, but we're going to see here how much damage it does compared to this dude. Is it better? It looks a lot better. It does, what is that, 15 more damage? And it has a beam, shoots an icy bolt. The cooldown, however, 1.5 seconds instead of 1 second, which is quite a long time. We got the beam sword with an entire second cooldown, but frostbrand 1.5 seconds or 90 ticks. So that's quite a bigger cooldown. We'll see how it compares here today. So first of all, our silver medalist, he also auto swings, which I didn't know. That's a stat I added to our leaderboard list. It's all the way over here. Got auto swing. So the frostbrand also has auto swing. So we have 2 auto swing swords. Auto swing is a pretty good stat. I personally don't enjoy it that much or use it that much at all. I guess the only time I use it is with Meowmere, because it doesn't really matter if you use accurate slices, because the thing is just so deadly, it destroys anything in its path. So against one target, the palladium sword has done pretty much what the damage stat says, except actually a little higher. What? Been a little bit higher than it used usually. I guess because auto swing has... Oh no, I'm not looking at the right stat. It's right here. Okay. So it actually has increased to 300 because of auto swing. Auto swing has given our silver medalist an even bigger leg up on the competition, completely crapping on the Knight's Edge now. 40 damage more. And how will the frostbrand combat this maneuver? So 450 is what I saw for the highest. I'm not sure what I'm going to see for the lowest. 370 is what I saw for the lowest so far. 364, 350. It's kind of jumping all over the place. 350 to 4. What did I say? 450, 460. Whoa, 480. Okay, that's quite a big variety there. 350 to 480. It's looking like it is beating both the palladium sword and the Knight's Edge. It's almost to the beam sword's level of power. So now let's go up to the next test. 3 targets. How will they do into this test? The palladium sword has already been tested, so we got to stand in the right spot. And now let's see how auto swing updates the data on 2 targets, because it's not big enough to reach the 3rd target, sadly. So biggest thing I've seen is 620. Not gonna do much. It's just gonna hover around 600. 637. 570 is the lowest I saw. Give it a couple more seconds before we move on. It's looking pretty stable. Crit chances, 568, that's the lowest. So let's see how our stats are looking against multiple targets. 450. The lowest I just saw right there was 570 or what? Yeah, 570. And the highest I saw was 650. So the palladium sword auto swing has improved its potency Obviously 5 targets won't matter that much to the Palladium Sword. It only hits the first 2 no matter where we go. But our challenger, he may get some more power, some more value from his beam in the upcoming challenges. Let's see, medium, or whatever this is called, the line left. So next we try out Mr. Frostbrand. How does he do? Oh my lord. The sword is big enough to hit all 3, and on top of that it has a beam. This is giving it a massive leg up. The highest I've seen is 1300. It's going down. 1260, 1280. Could it go back up to 1300? It did. It's about like 320-ish, or 1320. And the lowest I saw was about 1080. 1080 to 1320. Unless it changes my mind real quick here. Give it a couple more seconds, and yeah, about low 13s is what you should expect from this guy. That's quite a big jump. 1080 to 1320. It's beating the beam sword. Wow! Is our challenger gonna take home the gold medal? Find out in the next episode. Actually, this episode. We're gonna find out right now if it can hit any of the 5 targets that we have lined up here today. Okay, so first of all, the silver medalist, he's still only capable of hitting 2. How does the frostbrand combat 5 targets? It only hits up to 3, so the data is the same. Although I saw some more 1350s. I saw a 1350 there. Although I was hitting it a while ago, and I think I'm just getting lucky right now, so I will ignore the data. Other than the important fact that it can only hit 3 targets still. And you don't need to worry about me having to chase down the bolts this time, because I've already done it off camera. I could do it at the very end, just for the people who care, but for those who don't care, you don't have to watch. Who are probably just gonna stop watching at the end of the video anyway. Don't worry about it. It's infinite. The beams are infinite. They go to the end of the map, and there's no limit on them as far as we know, because its cooldown is too high, 90 ticks, so you can't really shoot anywhere near close to as many of these. You can't icicle, so it's kind of hard to test that. So the test on 10 is still the same. You can only hit 2 with the Palladium Sword or 3 with the Frostbrand. And how does it do against these guys? Important thing to note also, the beam can hit up to 2 targets. It pierces one and then hits the second one. So this is a better beam overall than the beam sword. You've heard that right. We have a better beam than the last gold medalist. How does it combat a mimic? The beam isn't even being useful. Inside this sea of dummies, that Frostbrand just completely bopped that mimic. Dude couldn't do anything. Our use time is too high. Actually, how does the use time look? So yeah, it's not affected by more targets. It's the same. No, pretty much. It doesn't really do anything. And how does the use time look? It's over here a bit. 22, so he is the second fastest behind the beam sword. This is looking very promising. It's looking like the beam sword is going to get overthrown weapon size. Let's measure this bad boy out. 83 pixels. This is a giant sword. So now let's see, is the hitbox the same as the sword itself? Or does it have Palladium Sword syndrome? It's looking like... yeah, it is the exact same size as the blade, so we don't need to worry about Palladium Sword syndrome. We have an accurate hitbox here. So is that all of the challenger's stats recorded? It is. So now we can make a verdict. Who's better, the Frostbrand or the Palladium Sword? 7 more base damage. A massively, like a solid lead in terms of DPS against 1 target. DPS against 3 targets is double, almost triple, nearly triple. It's like 2.5 times the damage. And that's just insane. 5 and 10 targets still don't matter. It's the same stat. The sword can't reach those. And the beam only pierces 2 targets. But those 2 targets give it a ton of damage. Enough to overthrow the beam sword. We have a new champion, guys. A new champion has come to claim the throne. If I could only click on this. So here's what it looks like. Here is the new leaderboard. The frostbrand has taken the gold medal, pushing the beam sword into 2nd place. We have a new champion, guys. The legendary, myths speak of its name, the frostbrand. Okay, so here's what the stats look like. It's pretty good. It's the same exact knockback as the Knight's Edge. Not as much as the insane knockback of the beam sword. That's pretty crazy. It's the biggest sword by far, having the longest hitbox and size. Crit strike is the same. Use time, it's the 2nd fastest. Rarity, I'm not the biggest expert on that. I'm not sure what that means. Sells for, it's the 2nd most expensive. Can't buy it, and it does shoot a beam. The beam pierces 2 targets. It does the same damage as the sword. Has a pretty big cooldown though. Velocity of the beam is faster by 1 value, whatever that means. And then a bunch of random stats that don't apply to it because it doesn't apply debuffs or use ammo. It's not a mining material, or it's not a tool, so those are irrelevant. Legendary is the best. You don't craft it. It's dropped from mimics. Ice mimics specifically. It's dropped from ice mimics, 31.67%. Essentially 1/3. It's not exactly 1/3, it's slightly less, but it may as well be. And it does have auto swing. These facts all make it the new master, the new leader of the DPS leaderboard. Rank 1 hail. Out of 4 contenders, I guess. So it's not that valuable. Well, that's it for the video. We figured it out. The current best weapon in Terraria is the frostbrand. Out of these 4 targets, at least. Definitely better than the palladium sword by a large margin. So much better, in fact, that it beats the beam sword as well. So that's going to be it for this episode, guys. So thank you all for watching. That's going to be it. Oh, I'm surprised that thing was so strong. Like, damn. It looks strong, but it doesn't have the damage stat that the beam sword did. So I was kind of surprised by that. Well, that's going to be it for today. For the 3rd time, I'm not very good at ending videos. If you like videos that are ended very poorly, subscribe to this channel. There will be more. And I'll see you tomorrow.